Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're taking a look at a very cool keyboard from Skyloong. This is the GK980 Plus ISO edition. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we're taking a look at a very cool keyboard from Skyloong. This is the GK980 Plus. This is a ISO version, which you can tell because it's got the proper enter key. Sorry, Americans. This is a very cool keyboard, currently on very good offer over at whatgeek.com. Put some links in the video description. This currently retails for somewhere in the region of about 80 to 85 pounds with free shipping, which I feel is fantastic value for money for a slightly more compact keyboard. So this is the 1800 layout with 99 keys. Does still have your numpad, so if you're somebody who uses that on a regular basis, such as myself, then it's very cool. You've also got your arrow keys and you've got a small selection of the other function keys. But what is very cool is the fact that it has Gateron switches, which are optical, which you can get in either red or yellow. I've opted for the yellow versions. You also got a ton of customization you can do from the actual keycaps to make the design look very much like how you want it to look. Another cool feature is the fact that it has a rotary volume dial built in, and this is actually programmable, so you don't have to use it as a volume switch or dial, and you can rotate it, press it to mute, unmute, etc. But in the software, you can actually program it to do various other things, and you can move it around and basically put it wherever you want to. So if you don't like it there and you want it over in the corner, you can program it to do so. So very customizable, a very cool keyboard. Let's go through, do the unboxing, see what it's all about. Okay, so let's start off with the unboxing process. So as you can see, it comes in a very plain packaging. So Skyloong GK980 Plus, and on the back, not much more. So let's get straight inside and see what is actually going on here. So opening up, first of all, you get your Skyloong instructions. So that tells you what the keyboard does, where the keys should go, etc. Handy if you're actually replacing some of the keycaps. And on the back, it tells you about what you can use the actual controls on the keyboard. So hotkeys, change things like your RGB, etc., and set up macros, all that kind of good stuff. You've also got some other items here in what I can only assume is Chinese. So I'm not entirely sure what those are. Maybe someone can tell me. This is the main star of the attraction. So obviously we've got the keyboard itself, and it does come with a very nice plastic cover. So if you're someone like myself, where you have cats, animals, or basically you just like eating at your PC, then you can take out the keyboard, and whilst it's not in use, just leave the plastic cover over there to keep all your keycaps nice and clean, keep dust off them, etc, etc. Nice little thing to have. Not often something you see these days on keyboards, so always nice to have that included. And you can see we've got the keyboard itself in its default layout, although I have changed some of the keycaps already. You can see the various different color styles. You can just have this as a black keyboard if you wanted to. All of the keycaps are included to allow you to do that, but I think it looks nice with a little splash of colour on there. And also the fact we've got some different colours as well, so like the tab key, caps lock, shift, etc. are a different colour font than the main keyboard keys, which again, I kind of like, but you can sort them out to see exactly how you want them. Also in the back of the container, or the box, you have a keycap puller and switch puller, so you can use this end for removing keycaps, this end for removing switches. They are hot-swappable as well. These are Gateron switches. You also get a really nice braided USB Type-C cable. So this is a wired keyboard. So USB Type-A on the other end. And also you get 2 bags of keys. So these are your additional keycaps. So you can swap these out however you want to make up different designs. And as you can see, they are all PBT, so double shot keycaps. They've also been kind of scrubbed, I think you'd call it. So they've got a really nice tactile feel to it. It doesn't feel shiny or anything, so it has a little bit of grip there, which is excellent for typing. As you can see on the inside, you've got your stems and all that kind of stuff, which are color coded obviously to the color of the key. So if you've got a pink key, then it's going to have a pink back. Blue key, it's got blue. You get the general idea. So you can go around, swap these out however you want to. The stabilizer bar for the space bar, you can actually change the size or actually change the space bar. So currently we've got this pink one, so you can swap out for the black one if you want to. Again, it does kind of completely transform the look of it just by changing it back to black, which obviously if you want to, you can do. All the other keys, again, you can go through to your heart's content, changing the colors of the fonts, etc., changing your function keys, all that kind of good stuff. So that is pretty much essentially it. Taking off the keycaps, very simple. So you just grab your puller and stick it in. The escape key is actually probably one of the hardest ones to do. So you just pull it off, and then if you want to, you can swap it with one of the other ones. If you don't like the pink, you can go with the black. And then you can see inside we've got the switches there. So these are Gateron opticals. These are actually the yellow switches. These are a linear switch and very, very smooth indeed. I have actually taken all of these apart and actually lubed them myself. They do come from the factory, actually pre-lubed, but I did find the lube that they were using wasn't quite thick enough, and there was a little bit of a ping actually in the springs themselves, which unfortunately is kind of part and parcel of mechanical switches. Even though they're optical, they have got a mechanical element to them. So again, you can take them apart and add some lube on there. I'll just use some general purpose white grease, and actually this has made them sound, I think personally, absolutely brilliant. And let's give you an example of what they actually sound like. I think it's got a really nice sound to it, the spacebar particularly. There's a very nice kind of thok to it. Yeah, I really do like that. And when it's on the desk, there's a very, very small resonant ring that you can hear from the springs. With the grease, a little bit more grease might be helpful to reduce that a little bit, but it's not entirely annoying. It was when I first got it, it was a little bit too much of a ping. And actually, if you want to see this as it was when I got it straight away from the factory, you can check out the live stream we did where we looked at this a little bit in more depth. I'll leave some links for that in the video description. Okay, it's a very nice keyboard. For me personally, I struggle to use anything else other than our kind of UK layout. This being a slightly more compact version, I actually really like. And for gaming, stuff like that, I use the arrow keys. Being a left-handed person, I use my left hand with my mouse. Right hand for the arrow keys, etc. Keypad for changing weapons, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it works very well for me. The RGB as well is actually quite nice on here. It's not over the top. Some keyboards do tend to be a little bit too bright, and that one behind me especially. MSI keyboards, very, very strong RGB lighting. So let's fire this up shortly and we'll see what that is like. On the back, you've got cable routing channel there. So you can have it either coming straight out here where the USB connection is, or middle, or on the far side. You've got rubber dampeners on the bottom, so it grips onto your desk and it doesn't want to slide around anywhere. So that's very cool. The actual legs, 2 stages. So there's, I think it's a 5 degree and a 7 degree. So you can choose how much elevation there actually is, depending on your typing style. The actual key layout is in the MDA style, which is the kind of the old school style. So as you can see from the side profile, there's a very nice kind of rake to it, and yeah, very comfortable. I love that spacebar. Yeah, it all sounds very nice and it's got a very nice feel to it. I personally prefer linear switches. Maybe you don't. Maybe you prefer something a little bit more clicky, in which case then you might want to go for the reds, which are a little bit more clicky. But in terms of, for me, general purpose typing, I think this is absolutely great. So anyway, let's plug in the USB. That just plugs into the back there. There is a cable included, but I've got one wired up here, so I figure I would use that instead. And when it's lit up, looks very nice. Again, it's not over the top. The RGB is actually very subtle. You can just about make it out there. You can change it pretty easily using hotkeys, so the function key and the minus key and the plus key. So function, that one goes through and you can have various layouts. I'll do some other recording this so you can see it a little bit better, but there's various styles you can go to. And if you use the plus key, there's actually like a sound to light reactive one as well, which is probably going to be hard for me to show in this lighting, but yeah, I think you can see it there. So if you shout really loud, I know that's in reactive mode. There we go. That is the kind of spectrum analyzer. So if you, you can see it gets a lot brighter. This is slightly concerning because I'm not entirely sure where the microphone is. There clearly must be a microphone in here. Whether or not it recognizes actual what you're saying, or whether it's just a kind of like a volume sensor, I honestly don't know, but it does seem to work quite well. So if you want a sound to light effect, yeah, you certainly can do. So there's other options in there. If you install the software, you can do all the per key lighting, etc. I'll put some links for that as well, because some people have had difficulties actually trying to find the software. If you go to whatgeek.com, which is who sent this to me, there is actually a link on the product page taking you straight to the Windows download. I think there's actually a Mac download as well, because this is Mac compatible as well if you want to use it with a Mac. But yeah, overall, I think it's very nice. It does what it needs to do. Very high quality switches, and is basically completely customizable. You can take it apart. There is a custom patented gasket system for the PCB as well, which is designed to reduce kind of fatigue and bounce, etc., and does appear to work very well. I do like as well the translucent effect of the outer plastic. So the actual base itself is plastic, the top cover is plastic, but inside there the rest of it is all metal. So it's very nice. It's actually got a fair weight to it as well. There's a little bit of creak to it because of the plastic. Potentially that could be where I've taken it apart previously and not put it back together properly, but most people probably won't be creaking their keyboard a great deal anyway. And then a little bit of WD-40 or some kind of grease will take care of that straight away. But overall, I think if you're into sort of slightly larger keyboards and you do want to have a number pad, you do want to have the ability to control your audio, which is something which actually on most keyboards nowadays, I actually insist on having some form of rotary control, just because it's so handy to have, and you can just quickly mute volume should you be disturbed by the telephone or someone interrupting you, whatever, asking a question, that kind of stuff. But overall, yeah, I think this is an absolutely fantastic keyboard, like it a lot. And the fact that you can pick it up for somewhere around about £80 here in the UK from whatgeek.com with free shipping, I think is an absolutely great price. But what I think isn't important, what you think is. So let us know what your thoughts are on the Skyloong GK980 Plus in the comment section below. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.